Thank you for your attendance to start off with. I know it was a strange invite indicating some important news. That is why we were still busy working on the collateral that we're going to announce today. So to start off with, we've identified as stadium management and obviously with the clubs over the last season and a half, and I think all of you have seen that, and we've seen that on social media, an increase in the amount of fraudulent tickets and access control problems we had at the venues, specifically with sold out capacity fixtures. Now, with the two clubs that use as SMSA managed venues as their home base, we were exploring options over the last season and a half to enhance the accessibility of tickets, to enhance the fan experience, to make it easier to purchase tickets, to get into the venue, and to curtail the prevalence of fraudulent tickets. The plan always was to implement a new ticketing option and system at the start of the 2025-2026 season. Now, unfortunately, with the derby on 1 February, it became evident that we need to accelerate that process. In debriefing sessions internally, debriefing sessions with the venue operating center and the ESSPC committee, the PSL and other stakeholders, we identified mainly two issues that contributed towards the problems we've had. One, fraudulent tickets, and I'll get to that point now. The second point was scanning issues at the entry points, and coupled to the scanning issues, there was the issue of human error and human malafides on scanning staff and on security personnel, and in some instances, these people working together, taking bribes to let people in. And let me be brutally honest with you today, and for the first time, disclose the numbers. All of us know that. At the derby, in a 87,000 capacity stadium, we had just in excess of 100,000 people inside the venue. How do we know that? Because from the venue perspective, we installed a secondary counting system at the turnstiles. So in our discussions and in the debriefing, we said, first of all, as the venue authority, we've got an obligation towards the clubs to sort this out. And fortunately, we have two clubs making use of our venue that is not visitors to the venue, but partners of us in the venue. And we joined hands and we said, collectively, we owe it to the fans, we owe it to the general public at large, we owe it to sponsors, we owe it to the PSL to ensure that we put measures in place to mitigate this. So it is a strange time to do so, specifically with big fixtures coming up, but we made the decision to accelerate the ticketing system at the venues we manage. With that, I refer to FNB Stadium and Orlando Stadium with immediate effect. So from the 1st of March, we will have a new ticketing partner and a new ticketing system and new ticketing purchase options that I will elaborate a bit more on just now in place. Now, to give you some background again with reference to the derby, 29,000 tickets were sold digitally on the online platform. That is people going onto the website and buying a digital ticket. And And that number increased by about 45 to 50% over the last season. 46,000 of these tickets were purchased at outlets. The so-called till slip tickets that I referred to on interviews as well. This is the ticket printed on a normal till slip that you get when you buy groceries or you fill your vehicle up at the garage. Now, nobody's fault. It was a good idea in the beginning to make tickets accessible, but you can just imagine the amount of fraud that goes with this. There's no way to install security features on these tickets. Imagine at the derby with 87,000 people at the gates, at the soft checks where people check for security features on tickets. With a till slip ticket, it's impossible to do so. So that box couldn't be ticked. So the first discussion was to discontinue till slip tickets. And a brave decision was taken to do so, but that left us potentially with 46,000 people without access to tickets. So in discussions with our new ticketing service provider, we managed to secure, or they managed to secure, 1,700 outlets around the country. And I'll name it now, where you can purchase tickets, but not the till slip ticket. If I'm referring to a thermal ticket, I refer to a ticket printed on a proper printer and a ticket that you can apply certain security features to. Also, it's going to be on totally new ticket paper stock, nothing that the market has seen to date. We realize that fraudsters and criminal syndicates will surely very soon pick up and will be confronted by these syndicates again, producing fraudulent tickets. But we're confident that with the measures that we'll apply, that we're going to apply at the access points, we will be able to manage that process far more effectively than we did to date with the till slip tickets. Now, another important point is, and I've written to SAPS and SAPS Legal, we need to be assisted in the process of dealing with people producing fraudulent tickets, these syndicates, and people in possession of fraudulent tickets. It's a criminal offense in terms of the Safety at Sports and Recreational Events Act, but to date, we haven't had a single positive prosecution on one of these instances. And as the media, you need to apply pressure on all of us involved to ensure that that gets done and executed. People continue with this acts of criminality because there's currently no consequences. So that is a collective responsibility on the Event Safety and Security Planning Committee to ensure that when people are caught, that they dealt with accordingly. A further point I want to address with you is the accessibility of tickets. Now, we said that 29,000 of a capacity is bought digitally, 46,000 at the outlets. For the first time ever at a sporting event or sporting venues, the fans and spectators will also be able to purchase tickets via WhatsApp. So this is, if I can call it, a hybrid of digital and outlet purchases. The process to purchase is extremely easy. You can pay by, and now you need to excuse me, let me just find it. Any card, you can pay via Zapper, you can pay via the Capitec app, and you can also purchase via one voucher. And I understand that there's more than 7,000 one voucher vendors in and around Soweto and the venues we manage. The process to purchase these tickets will be available on the website of the two clubs, on our new ticketing partner that I will disclose now, and the stadium management website as well. So you'll be able to purchase tickets in the following way: still via the digital platform, where you go onto the website, and maybe it's relevant to mention now as well, those tickets you'll not be redirected to the ticketing agent website when you purchase on the Orlando Pirates or the Kaizer Chiefs or the stadium management website. You'll be able to purchase the ticket directly on the club or the stadium management website. Obviously, also on the ticketing agent's website. A second method is via WhatsApp. And I want to say today it's going to spread like wildfire. It's an easy and convenient system to purchase your tickets, and it's immediately available on your WhatsApp without the necessity to download any app. You purchase the tickets and it gets transferred to your wallet or on your WhatsApp itself. The third option is to purchase tickets at the outlets that I mentioned. 1,700 ShopRite and USafe and Checkers outlets around the country. Our aim is, together with the clubs and the ticketing agent, to increase that number of, or decrease the number of outlet sales by 50% in the next season. So we want, of those 46,000 people, we want at least 50% to go and purchase their tickets via the digital WhatsApp platform. In introduction, I mentioned that there's also issues at the turnstiles with scanning, issues with personnel involved in the scanning, and with security. I can assure you, and obviously we're not going to disclose the security features here, and I don't think it will ever be disclosed in any meeting of this nature. But we're going to have certain security features on the tickets itself, and also an increase of manpower at the scanning chutes, and better cooperation between all stakeholders, inclusive of state security and private security, in managing this process at the turnstiles. One measure I can disclose here is, and it will be tested with the first Chiefs game at FNB on the 4th of March, there's going to be, at all the scanning points, LED lights that is connected to the scanning device that will clearly indicate if it's a legitimate ticket. The light will flash green when it's a fake or fraudulent ticket or a second scan. The LED lights will flash in red. So it will make it easier for monitoring. It will make it easier to prevent fraudulent activities between scanning and security and somebody wanting to get in without a ticket or with a fake ticket. So we very excited to announce, in conjunction with the two clubs, the partnership with Open Tickets as the new ticketing agent to stadium management and the two venues that we manage. Yeah, Open Tickets is a German-based company, so it's not a first time, and the franchise was bought by South Africans with experience in ticketing, and we're looking forward to a partnership where we all have proverbial skin in the game and accountability. So we made a decision that we're going to stand accountable to the clubs, we're going to stand accountable to the PSL and the fans. And we're going to have regular meetings and regular enhancement of the system that we going to incorporate now to ensure safe and secure events at the venues we manage. So that is it from my side, from a stadium side. I'm then privileged to be joined on stage by Tani Marafe from Orlando Pirates and Vina Maposa from Kaizer Chiefs. And I would like to give the opportunity, first of all, to Tani just to add on and to elaborate to what I've said and the seriousness both the venue and the clubs are approaching this. After that, Vina, and then we'll open the floor for questions. Thanks, Tani. Okay, I can do so. I was just nice to do ladies first, but I've learned now from the clubs, and Tani will get back to me on this. She said the first match is with Kaizer Chiefs, so it's inappropriate of me to allow her to speak first. So let me give it to Vina.
All protocol observed.
Yeah, with Tandy we used to share in banter before the Soweto derby, so I see it's also escalating to ticketing. Good morning, everyone, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I thought when you announced open tickets, Bertie, it will be met by a big cheer from the audience, and found it interesting that there was deafening silence. But I'm sure that cheer will be saved for last when we close. Ladies and gentlemen, we as Kaizer Chiefs, we are excited about this development. I think it is something that we've been looking forward to. It is not a surprise that we're moving this direction. And in fact, we would like to welcome open tickets with open arms and hands, and we would like to also wish that the consumer, that is the supporter base, will embrace this change. As you all know, that change is constant and at times is difficult, and it didn't come easy, I'm sure, for the stadium management as well as the two clubs to come to the decision of going this route, especially at this point when most of the ticketing changes usually happens at the beginning of the season. But we had to speed it up just because of what you saw happening in the Soweto derby. Also, the partnership offers obviously to run a seamless process that is more convenient and secure and user-friendly for ticket purchasing experience. So if you listen to Bertie, most of the move and the solution that we're bringing is supporter-centric, and it wants to also give the fans a good stadium experience. And this is what we've been yearning for. And thanks to stadium management as well as open ticket. And in terms of us being ready, we have been working throughout in the past few days, if not weeks, trying to get our systems ready, to get our websites ready, so that supporters can also use our websites directly, as you mentioned, without going via the vendor to purchase the tickets. And we're also excited that we will, as value add, will be bringing also an element of supporters purchasing, tickets at our headquarters at the at the village. And we're also excited mainly by the fact that it gives many options of transacting. From the payment point of view, your credit cards and the one vouchers that have been mentioned by Bertie, and over the counter that is still prevalent and a tradition amongst our supporters, going to ShopRite checkers as well as going to USafe. And in the past, we've had a problem in terms of the issues of till slips that you mentioned. Supporters coming to the stadium only to find that the till slip has faded through pocket or sweat or any kind of reason. And when they get to the stadium, they were not able to scan through and be able to get in and enjoy the sport that they love so much. And also, we also experienced a problem with vendors. In most cases, you find that they would record tickets are sold out, Bertie, whereas the tickets are still available. Systems error, you find that some of the supporters, they stay far from the vendors and they travel to go to a vendor, and when they get there, they only to find that the system is out of order. So we hope that this new ticketing system with open tickets will be coming through with secure solutions that will have little delays and causing confusion with our supporters. We're looking forward to implement this system with immediate effect. We've got a match that is coming up on the 4th against Makesi, right here at FNB Stadium. And we will go live this afternoon or just press conference that we will confirm that our supporters will be able to buy tickets for that match, and more especially that the other match that is playing before that in Pretoria is sold out. So we urging supporters to move on and get onto the system, buy a ticket for Magezi match as well as the other matches that will be coming forward. And I'm glad to see the Vogue members here, the captain was here, and many other role players that are here to witness this change. In conclusion, from Kaizer Chiefs' point of view, we believe that this new ticketing system and vendor partnership with open tickets will significantly enhance the fan experience, and we look forward to continuing to provide fans with the best possible service and support. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kaizer Chiefs Football Club, we welcome open ticket as the new vendor, and we ask supporters to embrace it and use it. Thank you very much, stadium management, and to Orlando Pirates.
Thank you, Bina. Tani, he opened the floor for you now with that comment on the sold out, so I'm sure there's going to be a reaction.
No, I'm just going to be courteous and give him an opportunity. He skipped paragraph 5 in his press release. Bina, you want to go back and read paragraph 5? Nah, too late.
No, we can. You can take me on. We can talk about the 3rd of May. I don't mind.
Bina? Thanks. Thank you. First and foremost, good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Thank you for honoring this invite on such a short notice. We appreciate you and the work that you do in terms of keeping us connected with our fan base, our respective fan bases, keeping the general public informed. And this is one of the most important press conferences that we're going to attend this season because it is going to signal a change in how we've done things from how we've done things in the past to a new era of ticketing, to a new era of a more safer ticketing system, a ticketing system that looks at enhancing the fan experience when coming to the stadium, enhancing the fan experience when purchasing tickets, because it will be more convenient. You can literally do it from your phone, from your smartphone, via your favorite comms app, WhatsApp. You can literally send a message to, first set the number, send a message to Open Ticket, and follow the prompts and buy your match tickets. So it's that easy. The payment method is just as easy and just as convenient as well, via Capitec, via voucher system, via your debit card or your credit card. This is done with the fan in mind. This is done with an intention of enhancing the fan experience, enhancing the purchase experience, making it more safe and more secure for you to spend your money from the comfort of your home in preparation for your next fixture to come and support your favorite team. So as Orlando Pirates Football Club, we are immensely proud to be partners with Stadium Management. As one of our brand values, we believe in innovation, and we believe in being the force of change in our football industry. And that is the legacy that Orlando Pirates Football Club has always carried over the years. So to be in this position, in this press conference today, where we get to announce Open Ticket, where we get to announce this new, safer way of purchasing tickets, this new, safer way of enhancing your stadium experience, is something that we're immensely proud of. As Bertie alluded to earlier on, we were unpleasantly surprised by the turnout on at the Soweto Derby. Of course, we know this is the premier fixture of the Betway Premiership. This is the biggest derby, not only in the SADC region, but in the African continent as well. So it is expected that there will be a high level of interest. However, our duty as the event organizer, our duty as the ESSPC committee that is charged with the safety and security of the event, our our duty as the stadium management, as well as the respective clubs, Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, is to ensure that our fans are safe and secure. To ensure that when you come to the stadium, there is no element or possibility of you have a person having bought their ticket and not being able to access the stadium due to fraudulent tickets that may have been able to slip through the cracks. And we experienced that a lot with this past derby. That is why Bertie said earlier that we are doing away with the till slip tickets. They were a good idea at the time, but they've proved to be a huge challenge for us as event organizers, for us as facilitators of these events, but for the importantly, for the fans that come to support these events. So with Open Ticket, I can guarantee that there will no longer be till slip tickets. There'll be safer mechanisms for people to come through to the stadium, from the scanning, the type of scanning, the technology used in terms of scanning. Bertie alluded to blue lights, to different types of lights that can be used to scan the authenticity of the ticket. Even with the physical tickets that are still available in over 1,700 outlets between USAVE, ShopRite, as well as Checkers, the type of paper that is used is such that it's impossible or near impossible for people to try and make fraudulent copies of. All of these measures are geared towards ensuring a safe and secure event. So as Orlando Pirates Football Club, we are immensely proud to be part of this initiative. We are honored to be partnered with Stadium Management, and we are hoping that this will be the future of ticketing in South Africa going forward, because we firmly believe in this. We wouldn't endorse it if we didn't. And we will be ready with our next fixture. I think we will allow, being the gracious parents that we are, will allow our kids, Kaizer Chiefs, to just test it out for us, to work out all the chinks in the armor, to make sure that when we host the next biggest fixture, which is Orlando Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns, the system will be in full effect. The system will be working properly, going from all ends, and we are hoping that for the fans that will come through, And if you know your guys are welcome to come, I know they'll come anyway. But for the fans that will be coming through, you will be able to purchase, like I said, from the comfort of your own phone and your own home. You can go to any outlets if that's more convenient. If that's more convenient to you, you can go to any outlet between Shoprite, Checkers, and USafe. The payment method is what we used to with our cell phone banking. This is going to be an easy system to adapt to. And I know we're starting out now, but Bertie, I'll be interested to see a year from now. I mean, this was supposed to be implemented at the start of the next season, the 2025-2026 season. But for obvious reasons, we are compelled to introduce the system now. Had we started as planned next season, I would have said at that press conference that I would be keen to see at the end of the season how the WhatsApp system, ticketing system has grown. But we're starting now mid-season. Let's see at the end of the season how these improvements, how these innovations are going to be embraced by the general South African public. But I can tell you right now that I'm very optimistic with regards to the new system that's going to be introduced. I am grateful that the Orlando Pirates fans that will be going to Orlando Stadium and here at FNB will experience a positive and less troublesome access into the stadium, knowing that they have their tickets in hand and there is less possibility of counterfeit tickets getting through. There is less possibility of them having spent for the love and for the passion of these two teams, having spent their money and not being able to access the stadium. I think that is the saddest thing out of the debrief that we had from the previous Soweto derby. So I reiterate, as Orlando Pirates Football Club, we are grateful and we are positive that this is going to bring about a new era of a ticketing system, and it's going to be extremely positive for the fans and for the two brands of Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs respectively. But most importantly, it will help us to do our part in ensuring that the Betway Premiership, the South African League, through the PSL remains the best league there is in the continent. Thank you so very much.
Thanks, Danny. Just two additional things that I forgot to say. I can hear the season ticket owners jumping up and down when hearing this. Your season tickets, as it is with the card, will still apply and will be applicable at all the fixtures, so you'll still have access with that season ticket card of yours. The next thing, there will still be sales at the venues in accordance with the PSL rules and regulations. Hopefully that will decline to a large extent as well with the convenience of the WhatsApps. And then both clubs at their stores will also have a printer when you go to the clubs to purchase your regalia, to also purchase your ticket. Then finally, and I want to appeal to the fans now and the spectators, you need to assist us in this process to get rid of fraudulent tickets. You need to assist us in reporting this when you pick it up. Assist us in embracing this new opportunity, and let's make the experience a better one for all involved. We owe it to a lot of people, as I already alluded to.
Also mention the family zone.
Yes, we now referred to the family zone at both stadia. That will also be available for purchase on the Open Ticket platform, and on the stadium website and on the two clubs' website. So nothing changes with regards to that. I'm now going to open the floor for questions if there is any. And unfortunately, I see we don't have a roaming mic. I see Benji had his.
Thank you. Betty, first of all, I don't know if with your new partner, Open Ticket, you found or figured a way to address issues like bulk buying by individuals and resale of tickets, which could be one of the ways that actually help perpetrate these criminal elements. And to, I don't know if the two members of either club can answer this. Any discussion among perhaps the two clubs in addressing or identifying misbehaving fans at stadiums and perhaps finding a way to bar them from entering match venues and all of that, sort of how they do it in the UK, maybe to try and identify them and charge them criminally, because you've recently both been ordered to find ways to address that on your respective websites. I don't know if there's any discussions around that, but first that one of bulk buying, that could be an issue as well.
It was definitely a discussion with open tickets, with the clubs involved. And we're currently working on the number that we're going to allow an individual to buy. Currently, the discussion is it's limited to 10 tickets, and it might differ from fixture to fixture. For Derby, it might even be 5 or 2. So the system is flexible to accommodate a prevention of bulk buying. You can't, obviously, if there's 10 people and you've got 10 each, and if 10 in a syndicate buys 10, you still be able to do so, but an individual won't be able to buy more than the system caps it at. Before I give to Vina and Tanli on the club's perspective on identifying people, we were also in discussions from a venue perspective. I've alluded to the counting system that we've got at the turnstiles. This system also provides for you to load images and photos of perpetrators at the turnstile, and it will identify that individual with an alarm sounding, and you can prevent those people from entering the venue. And I know the clubs are considering that, but that's an option that the venue has to the availability now since 2 weeks ago.
Benji, thank you very much, and also Bertie for the explanation. Us as a club, we're not accredited to barring people from entering venues. That is the security job as well as the VOC commander's area of work. But our mandate is primarily on education and working closely and collaborating with our supporters through their structures. The work that we do, every day we work with our supporters, but mainly organized is through the off seasons and through gaps in the season. We do go around road shows to provinces to engage our supporters, to remind them of some of the issues that you raised, including misbehavior. And at the stadiums themselves, we have run campaigns of misbehavior or hooliganism and stuff like that. So we continue that in collaboration with the stadium and our partners on an ongoing basis. So the question that we have to ask now, as been identified, is that this has become now a national problem. It's no longer a matter of football or football. So we need to create a psyche and an environment in the society of collegiality as well as people, coexisting and enjoying entertainment for the people is to make them happy. Hence, we have come up with these family zones, as well as part of enhancing and supporting the security cluster. At our games, we've got security marshals. These are meant by supporters themselves, who we believe that if you engage supporters to engage supporters, it's extra measure that can assist to alleviate some of the security problems.
Thank you, Bertie. Thank you, Vina. Yeah, very good question, Benjamin. I think first and foremost we need to understand that what's happening in other countries, in the EPL, for instance, does not necessarily apply to us as a country because we're a different country with different laws that govern what we do. And there's a number of acts or rules in place that govern sports in South Africa and how we go about preparing and executing for those events. I'm sure you'd be well aware of CESRIA Act 2 of 2010, and that is why you had members of the VOC here earlier on. Those are the that authorizes SAPS to be the body that's in charge when we have events. So that already speaks to the legal implications around sports and organization of events. We also have the Constitution. We have Section 2 Bill of Rights is enshrined in, the Bill of Rights is enshrined in Section 2 of our Constitution. And amongst the rights that are there, obviously understanding that we have a different history that we're operating from as South Africa, there is freedom of association, freedom of movement, and an end. So as a club, we have to be very careful that we do not disrespect, we do not we are not seen to undermine any of the rules that are in place. As a football club, we are also a member of the Premier Soccer League, and there is a compliance manual that governs how we operate as clubs. So there is a set of rules that will dictate what we can and what we cannot do. And to echo Vina's point, as clubs, we are not security companies. We do not execute security duties. We will never have a club security, and I know that's always a mistake that, or perhaps lack of understanding that there's an assumption that the clubs have security. We don't. We hire service providers who are professionals and who are qualified to deal with issues of security. So as far as misbehavior in the stadium, if there's any elements of misbehaving that need to be dealt with, they'll be dealt with the properly qualified people from the VOC that is in charge, the venue operational command that is in charge on the day, filtering down to the different security service providers. What we have done to educate our people or to try and stem the element of misbehaving in the stadiums. I'm sure you will agree that both clubs have had such issues in the past. But what you'll also agree to as well is that those incidences are far and few in between. And the reason why they are far and few in between is because there is a concentrated effort to educate our respective fan bases. What we've done as Orlando Pirates Football Club, over and above using our supporter structures, over and above educating our fans in terms of stadium etiquette, how to behave at the stadium, what is expected of you, even educating them on prohibited items, what you can and cannot bring to the stadium to avoid any unforeseen problems. We have used our social media platforms, because obviously you can see over the years, in the past 5-10 years, how social media has grown. So we've used that as an added tool to educate our fan base. That is why you'll see, even prior to the derby, we had a video along with key messaging that was sent to the fans, but we had a video which shows you when you go to the stadium, starting with purchasing a valid ticket, showing you where to park, showing you how to access the respective stand that you're supposed to be seated upon, how to behave at the stadium, what is allowed, what isn't allowed, what is expected of you as a fan. These things, and it's an animation and it looks cool, but over and above that, it serves a vital purpose of educating our fans. Not only do we do that on our platforms, but even during the match at the stadiums, we use the big screens. I think both teams are fortunate to have stadiums, a state-of-the-art stadium, to play in state-of-the-art stadiums which have big screens, LED boards, and all these other tools that we can use to educate. Because education doesn't just start with prior to the event and ends when people go to the event. Even at the event, we believe as a club that it's a continuous effort. Every opportunity we have to educate, every opportunity we have to show the fans, there will always be rogue elements, and we are not sitting here dealing with or trying to address a problem of fan misbehavior, general fan misbehavior. No, we are talking to a few rogue elements that as clubs we've identified, and as clubs we're working towards educating, more than anything else, educating. And in terms of enforcement beyond that, we have the appropriate entities via the CESRIA, via the PSL compliance manual that will deal and are empowered to deal with those issues at the stadium.
Okay, I always wanted to say this. With a show of hands, please identify yourself and the media house you're working for.
Colin Hans from Jersey Captions and Jersey FM. Any big event has a tendency of attracting faceless people or rogue elements or maybe scammers. And talking from experience, we know for the fact that maybe open tickets may be given the benefit of the doubt because you still have to test them, but the traditional tickets like your other outlets, that's where we see a lot of people. But there's a lot of ifs and buts. I mean, I'll give the big if. If a fraudulent ticket makes its way through and slips through the cracks, then the original ticket comes in. What intervention is going to be taken? Because original comes second, the first one got through.
The answer to that, and maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but if the scanning system is fully functional, there's only one barcode that can scan. So if somebody slips in with a fake ticket and the original ticket holder, that barcode will only scan with the original ticket owner. So it will scan fraudulent, or it will scan non-accessible for the first one. If the legitimate ticket owner is second, it will scan. It will not scan the first one. It will only scan the original one, and that is one of the features that we worked tirelessly on, or that we pressed, not we worked tirelessly on. Open Ticket worked tirelessly on. And again, it's some of the information on the barcodes that we don't want to disclose, but you won't be able to scan one barcode twice, that I can assure you.
Would you say if it slips through, it's a human element?
That's what a lot of in the past, what happened is a human element, and as I said in the very start, scanning issues, scanners sometimes not working offline. Secondly, human error with the scanning staff. And then thirdly, errors or human error and mala fides with security personnel as well. Having said that, we also need to take into account if it's a derby and it's 15 minutes before kickoff and the queue is 500 deep, and the people start pushing and shoving, it's difficult for the scanning and security personnel to deal with that. And that is where there's close cooperation between the clubs, our security planning, and Open Tickets. You'll see a change in that system going forward as well. And remember, I highlighted that soft scanning point. That was nonsensical later on with 46,000 people, because the security guard was just standing there. There was no way to identify whether that is a fake ticket on face value. So yeah, there's definitely going to be measures in place. Colin and I, I'm not sitting here and promising on behalf of Stadium, the clubs, and Open Ticket that there's not going to be any problems. For sure, we're going to have teething problems, but we need to work through that and to ensure that we enhance and improve with every single fixture.
What are or are going to be consequences of oversubscribing the previous derby, and why is stadium management still the right entity to sort of manage this game? In 2017, two people lost their lives in a stampede, and now in a game on numerous occasions, people have lost their lives. there more than thousands extra people in the stadium?
Thank you for that difficult one. First of all, the oversubscribing. Nowhere was there more tickets sold than there was no oversubscription. There were 86,870 tickets available, and that was what was sold. As I said in my introduction, we were confronted with a massive amount of fake tickets. And I think what contributed to that, not I think I know what contributed to that, is the 2 weeks prior to the fixture that the derby was sold out, and it allowed for the syndicates with an easy system to make fake tickets and to produce fake tickets. It allowed that we were confronted at the gate with a lot of fake tickets. And I would like to, at this point, also, and people will say, but you're ridiculous in saying this, I would like to compliment both clubs and the VOC on that event day in managing that situation. It's unfortunate that there were people left outside with original tickets, but that was from a safety and security perspective. To manage the situation in the way they did without any incident of injury or further harm on that day deserves recognition. It's not a qualification, it was wrong, and that's why we're sitting here and making alternative arrangements. On your point, whether stadium management still deserves to manage the derby, I'm not, obviously, I am of the opinion that we are. We manage a lot of events throughout the year. We recently managed 5 full capacity events in 1 month from November. I'm lying in 2 months, from 1 November, from 30 November up until the 1st of February. But you're entitled to your opinion on that, and the clubs surely is entitled to decide that they're not going to appoint us to manage if they feel that we cannot do that. What I always say is I'm not a person running away from responsibility and accountability. And where we at fault, we admit it, and we work towards a solution. And that is why we're sitting here today implementing these new measures.
So my question was, what are the consequences?
For oversubscribing. If you oversubscribe, it's a criminal act. And my answer to that was that there were no oversubscription. The stadium safe capacity is 87,634, and there were just with seat queues, call me a liar, 86,800 tickets on sale, and that's the only tickets that were sold. So there were no oversubscription.
Maybe English is my problem. It's second language. What are the consequences of letting in more people than the stadium can accommodate?
Okay, so you're not referring to oversubscription of tickets, allowing more people inside the venue than. That was a decision taken by the venue operating center on the day. Remember, they take a decision on safety and security of patrons. And at that point in time, where they allowed the BOC, and that's a collective of all the event safety and security planning committee members, made a decision to up to a certain point, and there's consultation with various people in this process. Then there's a decision taken to close the gates. There's various factors to weigh up when making that decision. And that's only my subjective opinion. On the event day, I feel that the VOC made the decision at the correct time. And the fact that there were no incidents is testimony to that. Apologies for misunderstanding. Yes, Nick?
Yeah. Morning everyone. My name is Nick from the Holy Chosen. Can you elaborate further? Because you mentioned that you expect fans and supporters to report any nefarious acts. So can you elaborate when and how do they report? Do you have a hotline number? Thank you.
Just after this meeting, and there's still a bit of work to do, so hopefully within an hour, all these information will be available on the club's website, Open Tickets website, the stadium management website, and both clubs. There will also be an infographic on how to purchase the tickets on all these platforms, and there will be a helpline where you can report any issues. I know there's currently the stadium management also the complainant in 2 matters that we reported to SAPS after the recent derby with people that provided us with information on fake ticket selling that's currently under investigation by the South African Police Services. But important, what I want to emphasize even more is fans now know what is the platforms where you can purchase your tickets. If you buy it at any other source, in all probability it's going to be a fake ticket, and you're not in any event allowed to buy a ticket from a third party in terms of the act. You can only buy it from the official channels. So please assist us in that by only buying your tickets there.
Very from the CBC. My question is for the two clubs. I know that you have no control over your away matches, but you agree with me that your away matches are always in the spotlight because that's probably the only time most of these clubs get to have sold out venues. And I think, especially for Chiefs, I saw yesterday we were talking about the issue of limit of ticket sales. The ticket sales that went out for the game this coming weekend, and I see lots of till slips there. What do you think this message is going to send now to other clubs? Because we see this happening all the time, and also the vulnerability of that till slip. So, because if something happens, God forbid nothing happens, in as much as you don't have no control, but you will also be held accountable.
Yeah, thanks, Belida, for that question, and also the previous question that is very key, asking Bertie about the consequences and stuff like that. Just want to confirm that as Kaizer Chiefs Football Club, we endeavor to partner, with partners that are able and are capable, to carry out their mandate. And then in this case, I can rest assured the public as well as our supporters that stadium management is proven beyond reasonable doubt that they are worthy partners, and working with stadium management on a daily basis has proven their dedication and commitment to excellence and providing quality service. So it is just interesting that the matter that you're raising, to indicate your point, is that opening up the gate on that match that led to what looked like oversubscription was a safety measure. You don't open that gate, you lead to the consequences that you alluded to, of people dying and pushing and crashing at the gate. And going to validate on the issue of the till slips and as well as away matches and stuff like that. This is what we're grappling with, and we're trying to address it with the authorities and the mother body. In terms of the market share itself, it's indicated that we dominant, and wherever we go, it's our home. And we find ourselves with hands tied by virtue of home and away principle of responsibility. And you might have seen in the days when you can take one game as an example, the famous Chian 8 match we played in Stellenbosch, where we were fined as a team, as a club rather, whereas we were not the hosting team, we were not the home team, we were not responsible for organizing the match. So since then, we've been working around the clock to address the issue of us visiting other teams and the amount of work that we put behind ensuring that we prepare and ensure safety of our supporters. Just one measure as indication in closing on this part is that our head of security have been deployed to all the away matches to form part of the ESSPC planning of matches. And we try and endeavor always to be inside the planning of all the matches that we play. We're not only focusing on the home matches. So, Velile, we're trying and we are aware of the extent of the problem and we're not sitting back. We will obviously at some point change the game.
And you can go one better than beyond reasonable doubt. I think you can say beyond all doubt.
Thank you. Sure. You guys, have, yeah, you checked in for this is a serious press conference. The questions, wow. But we appreciate that, and that's why we're here. I think maybe also just for me to take this opportunity to also express, as Orlando Pirates Football Club, the continuing commitment we have towards stadium management. I think the relationship we've had has been there for quite a long time now. I think as far back as just after the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a very long time. And during that time, we've obviously had our teething moments. We've grown together. We've experienced a lot together. There has been moments that were regrettable and quite sad. As far as passing of any of the patrons that have come through, and none of us want to see that. And that's why we take the responsibility quite seriously of preparing for these events. And when we have a match, it's not just one ESSPC meeting and we're done with it. There's quite extensive planning that goes into these events. And we look at every facet of the planning, not just how we get people, not just having, in lack of a better term, bums on the seat, but you look at how people come in. You look at how they go out, the ingress and the egress. You look at the traffic management plan. You look at the parking plan. You look at all possible scenarios that include the safety and security of the event. So yes, we've had issues in the past, but like Vina said, we'll get it right, and we are continuously working as a cluster that works on these events to improve on what we're doing. I think one thing we can commend, to answer you, Velida, one thing we can commend the league on is having taken the initiative of involving the away teams in ESSPC meetings. And we saw it started with the cup competitions, where we as the away teams we also get invited to sit in these meetings, to be given an opportunity to give our input, because as Vina rightfully pointed out, Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, we always have the lion's share of the support wherever we go, wherever Pirates plays. If it's away from home, it's home away from home. So we really don't have away matches in that regard where when we would be outnumbered when we're traveling. And it's important for us to be, as because we are an important stakeholder, it's important for us to be able to have an idea in terms of the planning. If we feel the planning is not okay, to be given an opportunity to give our input. We'll never undermine other teams and try to take over their planning, but just to be given an opportunity to give our input where required. So I think that's something that's happening now, and or hopefully we'll get more of going forward, to be able to be part of the planning. With regards to the fans, I'm not gonna comment on his example, but unfortunately, it is the law right now. It is the rules that if you're a host team, regardless of whether the fans are yours or away fans, you bear the responsibility of organizing the event. You bear the responsibility of the safety and security of the event. And we are hoping that there will be a gradual move from that to change to say if you can visibly see that as a host club, yes, we're the host club, but the fans are wearing regalia of a different club, then we shouldn't really be held accountable when on the face of it, and when you follow up and you check, you'll see that all the steps for preparing for the event, a safe and secure event, have been done. So yeah, it's an ongoing process, and I think the PSL compliance has done a lot in ensuring that it evens the playing field, so that even with the clubs that are not used to having a large fan base, there is the same set of rules that they can refer to in terms of preparing for the event. And just maybe lastly, as a club, we are we I think we should also I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Park Faithful, the Orlando Pirates fans for believing in the club. We are what we are because of our fan base. We are able to make every game a home match for us because of their unwavering support, of their continuous support, and of their fierce loyalty to the brand. So thank you very much, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the next game. And I hope that we trust that when we get there, we will um, we will continue with behaving at the stadium. But guys, I'm just gonna go off topic a bit and show you this. There was a question I think that came from back there somewhere regarding how we're going to communicate, having a hotline and all these other things. So we did say that we're working tirelessly in terms of just ensuring that the comms are ready and are ready to go and educate our fan base. So we'll show you just what's going to be in terms of educating our support band, our fan base as Orlando Pirates. On our website, you'll also see this where we educate our people. I recently saw in a post-match interview with the coach holding a cell phone, so I'm a bit reluctant to put up my cell phone. But just to outline, so we've narrowed down the application system to or the ticket purchasing system to 6 easy steps, and I'll quickly take you through them. So firstly, buying your ticket via WhatsApp. You can send a message to Open Ticket, and once you've done that, your plus 2710 number. That's quite a long digit, so we'll share that with you. But the key points that I wanted to share with you. Open Tickets will reply with a quick response, but with a quick response button for each available game. Tap the button for the game that you want. That's step 1. Step 2, Open Tickets will display ticket options. Tap the button for your preferred ticket type. Step 3, enter the number of tickets that you want. Step 4, Open Ticket will reserve your tickets and send a payment link. Pay using Capitec Pay, Zapper, One Voucher, credit card or debit card. Step 5, once payment is processed, you'll receive confirmation via WhatsApp. And the 6th and final step, your ticket will be sent to WhatsApp before the game, to your WhatsApp before the game. Obviously, I think also there was a question earlier about safety features. The ticket will not be sent immediately. So, for instance, if you buy the ticket now for Orlando Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns, the ticket will not show the barcode at this exact moment, but closer to, and that's a safety feature. It will be blurred, and then closer to the event, closer to kickoff on match day, your barcode will be visible, and that's another measure that's been taken to ensure that we limit fraudulent tickets, we limit people's barcodes being processed and coming into the stadium earlier than anticipated by the owner. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's enough for today. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for keep holding us accountable. And thank you for your assistance as always.
And let us get excited. Everybody, I'm asking you for cheering this one. Let's give a round of applause to Bertie. Thank you very much, Bertie.
Thanks, guys.